How can you inspire your team to innovate? Innovation. That's a word that is thrown around a lot these days by leaders of organizations, leaders of teams, and various leaders. You want your team to innovate. You're wondering why your team is not innovating. You're feeling frustrated because there are no new ideas. There's no innovation happening. What is innovation? What do we mean by innovation? First, a general description of what innovation is making changes in something established, especially by introducing new methods, new ideas, or new products. That's what the general meaning of innovation is. And how can you inspire your team to innovate? I'm going to give you 5 different things that you could do. There could be more, but this video is just going to talk about the 5 things that you could do to inspire innovation within your organization. Number 1, tell the organization that innovation is encouraged. Tell your team that innovation is encouraged. When I've spoken to various leaders who are frustrated because their team is not innovating, they're not coming up with new ideas, and I asked them, have you communicated this to them? The answer, no. You need to communicate what it is that you desire to your team. And how do you do this? Number 1, define what innovation means. What does it mean to you? Because it needs to be clear to the organization what innovation actually means. What does it look like in your organization? What does it look like within your team? First define that, and you all get on the same page on what that means, and then communicate it clearly that innovation is encouraged. In my previous organization, the place where I worked, innovation was not called innovation. It was called an exceptional contribution. And it was encouraged. Everyone knew that they needed to have an exceptional contribution as they were doing their work. Everyone was looking for a way to do 1 or 2 things that were exceptional, because that was going to support them in their review, performance review, to get a promotion, to get a salary increment, or to get like a big bonus at the end of the year. So whenever everyone was working, it wasn't just a particular group of people. People were looking for a way to do something exceptional with their work, a way to bring a change, to introduce a new method, a new idea, a new product, a new way of doing things, a new service, even as they were doing their day-to-day work. So clearly communicate to your team that innovation is encouraged. Number 2, lead by example. Inspiration doesn't come from shouting, barking orders, demanding things, or just giving instructions. Inspiration comes from you being the person who people can see doing that thing. So you need to lead by example. People need to see you also innovating. And how can you do this? Be the first one to give ideas in meetings. When you're brainstorming about a solution, you're brainstorming about something that you want to do, be the first one to contribute an idea, because people are usually shy to be the first one to say something. Be the first one to contribute an idea in that meeting. You could also ask for alternatives. Whenever it is that someone is proposing something, tell them to come up with 5 different ways of doing the same thing. That encourages them to think outside the box and to not necessarily get boxed in. Now, the way that I did this, leading by example for a particular team that I had, and I've done it in most of the teams that I have led, because many people do not feel comfortable offering up their ideas in a meeting, or offering up their ideas in a group that has come together to discuss something or to resolve something. Many people fear being the first. They're uncomfortable with that. So what I would typically do, even as I was leading the team, is I would be the first one to propose. Perhaps we could do this way, to offer up an idea. And then the team starts discussing that idea. And then after a couple of minutes, 10, 15 or 20 minutes, then I would intentionally start to poke holes in my own idea. And the team would usually look at me in shock, because it's like when you offer an idea, then you kind of attach yourself to that idea. And people usually want to protect that idea. They don't want anyone to poke holes. But here I am. I have been the first to offer up the idea. We have discussed how best to do it. And then now I am the one who is poking holes in my own idea. That really helped them to begin to see an idea as something that is separate from them, and to offer up ideas, and for us to have freedom to discuss and to even poke holes in our ideas. So lead by example. Show them that you are innovating, you're thinking of different ways of doing things. Even you yourself, come up with different ways of doing your work, of leading, of guiding, of delegating. Even you as a leader, innovate. So lead by example. Number 3, create an environment where your people can fail. This is the biggest one of all of them. I could even leave 1 and 2 out. If you could just create an environment where failure is not a threat. And this starts with you. Because if you as a person view failure as a threat, view failure as a judgment on your capabilities and your abilities and your identity, then you cannot allow yourself to fail. You cannot allow the people around you to fail. You cannot allow your team to fail. Now, this is where the problem comes, because innovation is about introducing new methods, new ideas, new services, new products. And in order to come up with new things, you have to try. You might have to try something 9 times before you get the actual thing that works out, which means you need to fail. So you need to create an environment where your people can fail and it is not a threat, where failure isn't a judgment on their capability, on their competence, on their skill. In an organization that I worked in that was an IT organization, what happened was the people who were working on various applications always had various instances of the applications. So there was the one that was running, that was live, that had no issues, but they had an instance which is like a copy where they could try out things, they could test things, they could make it crash, they could overload it and see what happens if you overload this. How does it, when it crashes, how do I bring it back? So they could do whatever it is they wanted to do on this particular instance without disturbing the live environment. So they had a place where they could actually fail and try out things. So in your particular organization, how can you create that kind of environment where people can try out different ideas and where they can fail without it affecting work, without it affecting the service that you offer, without it affecting their performance review? How can you create that? As a leader, can you think of ways that you can do that, where people can try out stuff and fail and it is still safe? That is, I think, one of the biggest things that you can do for your people, to create an environment where they can fail and it is safe. Number 4, create a culture of feedback. Create a culture where people desire feedback, they seek out feedback, they want feedback. Make it a thing where it's something that happens like every week. People are always looking for their ideas to be reviewed, a product to be reviewed. They're having demonstrations, they're having presentations. You could even make this part of the performance review, as in how many feedback events or meetings did you have about an idea, so that people are encouraged to seek out feedback. They come up with the idea and they don't hide it. They don't try and bring it from idea to final product by themselves, but they have a way of reaching out to the experts, they have a way of reaching out to the customers, they have a way of reaching out to other stakeholders to just get feedback on the idea that they have, so that whatever it is that they're building is developed, is more robust and is solid. So create a culture where seeking feedback is the way of doing things, where seeking feedback is encouraged, actually, is encouraged. Create a culture of feedback. And now number 5, this one also is equal to number 3. Number 5 is celebrate and reward innovation. And reward it right from the start, even from trying. Give people marks for effort. People like saying A for effort, but give them props for even just trying, for coming up with ideas, for offering up ideas, even if at times all the ideas that they come up with are not working out. Just because they offer up the ideas, they might encourage someone else who comes up with a real awesome idea to also speak. So the fact that they're speaking up is encouraging others to also speak up. So celebrate them and reward them for trying, for testing, for developing, for actually coming up with a product that could be feasible, could be used, for actually coming up with something exceptional. Celebrate them right from progress, just the progress in giving the ideas, for growth, growing in the number of ideas that they give, in being able to receive feedback without feeling bad, in coming up with awesome ideas, to wins when they do something absolutely exceptional. Celebrate them using different things, from something as small as clapping, because clapping is an acknowledgement of effort. So from clapping to something as huge as a bonus or a promotion or getting into a new position. Celebrate and reward innovation in all its forms, in all its stages, in all its attempts. So, how have you been dealing with this in your organization? Do you encourage innovation? Have you desired to see innovation in your team or in your organization, but you haven't communicated it? Do you know how to create an environment where your people can fail? Or do you as an individual have an issue with failure and you need to sort that out? Do reach out, comment, let me know what you think, and share this video with others.